Hi guys, welcome in this video, and today I'm going to show you how to create a whole different type of expert advisors that you can use as well, and that is the grid expert advisor. So if you don't know the grid approach in expert advisors, it's very simple. You basically enter an initial position without take profit and stop loss, and the idea is that if the price goes against you, then you open additional positions in one direction. So for example, if I open a buy position right here and the price goes against me, then I open another buy position, for example here, here and here, and then I simply wait for the price to revert, and after it does revert I close all of the positions. So this is the idea behind the grid systems, and today I will show you how you can create an EA based on this approach. Just one more thing that I would like to tell you about the grid systems is that I'm not very keen on using these systems, since they are very dangerous when they are not coded well, and therefore it's not I do not recommend to use these systems on your live account. But of course there is still a usage for these systems, and I will tell you how would I use these grid EAs in the end of this, or at the end of this video. So let's get to it. So I will open my MT5 editor right here, and I will create, or sorry, I will go here into my experts folder, and then this is my YouTube folder, and I will create a new expert advisor. Let's call it a simple grid EA, and this is all we need for now. I will click on next, finish, and this is how our EA looks like so far. Okay, so the initial approach of designing grid EA is fairly the same as with any other EA, and that is that you firstly need your signal function. So that is the function that is going to generate entries for you, and that is where we will start. So firstly I need to think of some simple signal generating function, and let's say that this EA is going to be based on RSI indicator. So let's create a handle. So RSI handle, so that is the first thing we need to do when working with indicators. And now on this init function we can assign value to the RSI handle, and we will assign this RSI indicator. So simple current period, moving average period. Let's stick with the basic settings of 14, because right now it's not important to have like the best settings, because I just want to show you how to create the grid EA. And price close. So this is our handle, and then what I can do is that I will, below this RSI handle, I will create an RSI array that will be used for storing the RSI values that I will obtain in my signals function. So let's go down here. I will also just delete these comments since we do not need them. We'll also delete this on trade function, on timer function, because we don't need those as well. In this case, on tick function we have to leave that, and okay. On the init I will leave that as well. Okay, so this is better. So let's continue. Now we have to, of course, create our signals generating function. So signal function, and let's create this function. So I will create a new variable called signal. This variable is going to be for the signals, and let's continue. So first thing, I want to get my RSI values. I can get them by calling this copy buffer function, in which I will paste the RSI handle that I have created. Buffer number, it's 0, starting position is also 0, and I want two last values, and I will store these values into RSI array like this. And then it's very simple. I will assign new values to the signal. So if RSI array, so now I'm calling or accessing the RSI values stored in this array. So if RSI array 1, so that is the most recent RSI value, is higher than 30, and RSI array at position 0, so that is the second most recent value, so these are the two RSI values that are most recent, is below 0. In this case, I want to assign a value of 1 to the signal variable, and signal of 1 is going to represent by signal. In other case, let's check if RSI array at position 1, so the most recent value, is lower than 70, and RSI array at position 0, so value before that, is above 70. And in this case, I want to assign a value of 2 to the signal variable, and if none of these conditions are true, I will assign 0, and then I have to return the signal variable. So this is my signal generating function. So let's continue. Okay, so here on the init, we'll copy this function and I will paste it here on the in the end of the code, because I won't be working with it. So just like this, and let's continue. So the first thing I have to do is to obtain the signal. So in signal is equal to signal function. So that's the first step I have to do. And what then? Then I also have to have a function that opens a new positions, because if I get, for example, signal from this signal function that I should, for example, open a by position, I have to have a new function that is going to open these positions for me. So let's create such function. So it's going to be of a type void, so it won't return anything, it will just execute the code, so therefore a void type. And let's call it open positions like this. And yeah, so in order to be able to open a new positions or to interact with open positions already and orders, I need to include the trade library that MQL5 provides. So trade.mqh, and then I will create a new object, cTrade, called trade. So now with using this trade object of the library, I can create new orders, open positions, and then I can interact with them. So the first thing I have to check is whether we have already an active position. So I can do that with this condition. So if positions total is equal to 0, then I can open new positions. Yeah, but just for this to be more clear, I will rename this function to open initial positions. So these are going to be the first positions based on the signal, because as I said before, the grid systems are based on adding up new positions as we go into a loss, and but those added positions won't be based on the signal. It will be based on defined range. So yeah, that's why this function is going to be only for the initial positions. Yeah, let's go. So if positions total is equal to 0, then we can yeah, and I also need this signal parameter, so I know whether I should open buy or sell position. So if signal is equal to 1, then I will open buy, else if signal is equal to 2, then I will open sell position. So it's very simple, just like this. And for opening new positions, I will also need ask symbol and symbol ask price and also bid price. So let's get that as well, like this. Great. And now I can open new positions. So for the buy position, it's straight buy volume. We don't have to worry about volume right now. Symbol is going to be the current symbol, price, ask price, and now because with grid EAs we don't want to set any take profits or stop losses, I will just type 0 in here, and I will comment this as initial buy, and I will do the same thing with this sell position. So sell, and the one thing I have to change is bid price, and also it's not initial buy but initial sell. Great. So let's do one more thing, and that is that I will, after I get my signal, I can call this function open initial positions, where I will check whether I should open initial positions or not. Okay, so this is the simple part. Now let's get into the part which is specific for the grid EAs. I will go back here into my MT5 chart, and I will show you what I will be coding now. So this is perfect for our example, I would say. So let's pretend that right here I will, right here we are opening our buy position. Okay, so at this point this is our buy entry, and we define that we want to add new positions after, for example, 200 points. So then I can create the grid where the range between each level of the grid is going to be 200 points. So I can do it like this. So if I check this, this is like, okay, it doesn't have to be perfect. So this is like 207 points. So this is our first grid. Then I will copy this, paste it here. So our next distance should be also 200 points. So this is like 250. Okay, 220. That's okay, because this is just to show you how this is going to work. And we have a next level of our grid, which is something like this. Then I will take it, paste it here, 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 and here. Okay, so let's pretend that the range or the distance between each of these levels is 200 points. And our our approach looks something like this. So let's pretend that at this point we are entering a new buy position, but our take profit is too high, so we don't reach the take profit with our initial position. And then the price goes down. So what happens is that when the price reaches our first grid level, we open a new buy position. So if I, sorry, okay, I will, 1 second. I will open a new buy position right here. Okay, so here is our second buy position. And then what happens is that, of course, the price continues to go against us, and therefore we open new buy position at our new level. And then it continues to go against us, and therefore we open a new position and at this level, okay, and so on and so on. So we would open 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 new positions, and all of these positions would be buy positions because we are adding up based on the initial position. And the idea is that the market at some point has to revert, and once it does revert, then we will wait for the price to come back up. And if we are in a profit, like if we sum up all of the positions and we are in a profit, then we close all of the positions. So that's the idea behind the grid systems. And yeah, so let's create our grid right here. So what we need to do is to create a new input integer called the grid distance. So the user can select how many points should be the distance between each of the levels. And let's set the initial value to 400. And yes, so after that we have to create two globals. I think we need only one global variable called double next level. Okay, and let's set that to 0. And this next level variable is going to store like the information about a new price, which is going to be our grid level. So if we open a new position right here, so this is our initial position, then we can calculate our next level for opening additional positions. So in this case, it's going to be ask price minus the grid distance multiplied by the point variable, and the same will be for the cell, but it's going to be bit price plus the grid distance. So now we have our next levels. The next step is going to be that I will create a new function that is going to check whether we should open a new grid position or not, and if so, then it will open a new position and update the next level variable. So it's going to be also of type void, and let's call it open additional positions. We don't need any arguments for this function, and yeah, let's continue. So we will be needing this ask and bid price, and yeah, so our condition is going to be if ask is larger or is above the next level. Okay, and I will be also needing one more variable, so next level and integer active position. So here I will be also keeping a track of whether we are in a buy cycle or sell cycle. So active position equals 1 and active position equals 2. And I will be needing this information right here, and active position is equal to 1. So this means that if we are above our, if we are below our next level and active position is 1, therefore we are in a buy cycle, then we want to open new buy position. So let's stick with the 0.01 lots. Null, and price is going to be ask price, and also we don't want to specify stop loss or take profit. And let's call additional buy, and let's also get the information about how many, or if it's the first additional buy or the second additional buy, or yeah, so positions total -1. Okay, so now we should be able to get the information how many additional positions we have opened. And also what I need to do is to assign a new price to the next level variable. So now it's ask minus grid distance multiplied by the point variable. So that's it. And the same thing, or very similar thing, I will do for the sell side or sell cycle. So if bid is larger than next level and we are in a sell cycle, then we want to open new sell position at bid price with additional sell command. And because we can either have buy cycle or sell cycle at the time, but not both at the same time, then we can keep this positions total -1 comment right here. And next level is going to be bid plus grid distance multiplied by the point. So we are receiving some errors. Let's see. Yeah, I know why, or I think that I know why is that. So let's call this string here and also put this into the brackets, and it should be okay, and it is okay. Okay, great. So now I will be calling this open additional positions. And now the last part that I have also to include is the part where we will be closing our positions, because since we are not setting either take profit or stop loss for any of our positions, we need a function that is going to iterate through all of the open positions, and then it will sum up all of the profits. And if we are a certain amount of points in a profit, then we will end the cycle. Therefore we will close all of the open positions. And yeah, let's do exactly that. So we will be needing another input variable, input double called take profit points. Okay, so this is the user can specify for how many points each of the cycle, or how many points the cycle has to be in profit in order to close all of the positions. So let's say 200. And I will also include the same thing for the stop loss points. So if all of the orders in the cycle are certain amount of points in a loss, then I will also close all of the positions. So let's put this to something like 5,000, because with this or with the grid EAs, it's really simple to get into a drawdown. So therefore we want a bigger number here. And as I'm thinking about it, I will also include our input for RSI period. So, and I will replace this with the RSI period. Great. So let's code our final function. So it's going to be also of the type void, and let's call it close cycle. So the cycle is like if we have bunch of buy positions, it's a buy cycle, and if we have a bunch of sell positions, it's a sell cycle. So just to be clear on the terminology. So now we have to create a new variable called points profit. Let's set it to 0, and then we need our first for loop that is going to iterate through all of the open positions and check the profit for each of them. So for in positions total minus, I think this is okay, plus. Let's get a ticket position, ticket x, and yes, so this is okay. And then yeah, we have to obtain the profit. So profit, or sorry, not the profit, because with the positions functions, like we can get a profit of the position, but it's going to be in a currency. So like we get, like we are for USD in a profit, but we are interested in points. So what we will do is that we need to obtain the position type, position get integer, and after that we need current and open price, because yeah, you will see for yourself, but I think it's pretty clear why. So current price is equal to position get double current, and open price is going to be price open. Okay, so this is all we need. Now I will do it in if-else statement, but it also can be done in one line, or I will code both of these approaches, and then you can choose for yourself. So if you are a beginner in MQL5, you want to do something like this. So if type equals position type buy, so if we are dealing with a buy position, then we want to add to the points profit variable something like this. So current price minus open price divided by points, and else if the type is position type sell, then we want to add the open price minus current price divided by point. Okay, so this is okay. And if you want other approach, you can do something like this. So now type equals position type buy, then it's this piece of code, and if it's not this, then it has to be sell position, and you will, so this and this does exactly the same thing. This is just more advanced approach on how to create an if-else statement in one line, but I will comment this out because we can use this more friendly approach. So this is our for loop that we have to use in order to obtain the profit in points that we are in. And now let's check. So if points profit is larger than take profit points, or points profit is smaller than stop loss points multiplied by -1. So either if we are in a profit or if we are in a loss and we should close the positions, then I will take this for loop, because we are going to need a for loop, but I don't need this. I also don't need this, I just need the ticket. And if I have the ticket, then I can close the position. So trade, position close, ticket, and -1. And what I also need to do is that I need to assign next level variable to the 0. So I reset all of the variables that we have been keeping track of. And then I also, and the active position is equal to 0. And that's it. So I think that this should be fully functional code. So I will also call this function, or our onTick function. So the close cycle, and now it should be done. So if I go back to my MT5 platform and I open the tester, I can test it out. So I'll just find my YouTube folder right here, and it's simple grid EA, and I will start with the visual mode, since we want to see if the grid levels work as they should. And do you know what? I will also add one more thing, just to check whether we are receiving the correct values in this, is that I will create a new object. So object create 0, let's call it cycle and plus object total 0 -1 and object text 0 time current and price high symbol, sorry, I just can type 0. Okay, and I will assign new value, check set string 0. I will copy and paste the name here, text, and it's string, and double to string, double points profit 0. Okay, so let's check it. If I start this, then okay, so we are receiving our first buy position, because the RSI went down and then up, so the signal generation or the signal generating part works fine. And okay, why am I receiving the text in here? Just 1 second, because this is not something that I wanted. Cycle and sorry, just not. I will try. I don't know where the issue is with this, but there should not be any issue. I'm not sure why this didn't work, but that's not like the main thing. Okay, now it works, great. So you can see that this The number tells us how many points in a profit were we when we closed all of the positions. So we set the take profit to 200 points, and you can see that we closed with 2 and 25 points, so that's okay. The same thing with the sell signal. So far it works really well, and now you can see the grid. So we have opened our first initial position, and then if we check the distance, 400 points below this, or 415 points, which is not that's like not not a difference that can have an impact on the grid EA. We have opened another position, and then we close the positions right here, where you can see that we have closed the positions 220 points in a profit. And I messed up one more thing, and that is that, or I did not. Now this looks okay. So yeah, sorry. So if we continue, then we can see the same thing. So there's our first cycle, then we are in a sell position, we are opening another sell position, another sell position, and we closed all of these sell positions right here, 216 points in a profit. Then we closed our buy position, 224 points in a profit. Yeah, so another sell, buy, sell. Okay, now we are in a next sell cycle, and we close the positions here. That's great. Then we opened a new buy position that we also closed right here. And let's see. Okay, so there's one thing that's not looking well, and that is, if you check this, like the first and the last positions are closed at the same time, but the second position is closed a little bit after that. So the same thing is here. The first and the last positions are closed at the same time, but the second position is not. And the same thing was also here. Okay, so let's check our code and figure out the mistake. Okay, so where could be the mistake? One thing that I have noticed when I was developing grid EAs as well is that sometimes, because like sometimes if the EA sends out to the server the request to close all of the open positions, and you have, for example, 5 open positions at once, sometimes it does not make a good job in closing all of them at once. So what I will do, I will create a nested loop. So I will see if this deals with the issue, and this simply, like, we are trying more times to close all of the open positions. So let's see if that works. So okay, now it's working. Let's see if this, yeah, and that's the issue. So we have to try to close all of the positions at once more times, and so the server has like more opportunities to fulfill the request. Okay, so now it looks really nice. Okay, so we are closing all the positions right here, as you can see. So this looks really nice, and yeah, with the buy position as well. Okay, so I think we can say that this grid EA works as it should be working. Now, I would like to talk a bit more about these grid EAs, because like from this they seem super profitable, and that's the reason why a while ago this type of EAs were super popular on MQL5 market site, because a while ago all of the most bought EAs were using some type of the grid. It's not like that anymore, because people found out that if you are using these grid EAs for a longer period of times, you will lose all your capital. Not with all of them, of course. If it's like a great EA and it's based on the grid system, it's not a rule that you will lose all of your capital. But since it's super simple to create such EAs, because if you check this, it's like we are 40 minutes in the video, and if I run this backtest, then you can see that this looks super good. Like, okay, this is like perfect. And if I take out this stop loss, so I put something really crazy in here, you can see that this curve looks exceptional. Like, this is something that you can find on MQL5 sites, and this type of EAs were selling or were being sold like for 1000 USD. So this is really crazy, and this took us like 40 minutes, and if I didn't have to talk, this would be done in like 15 minutes or so. So that's why these EAs were super popular, because you can make them to look like they are super profitable, but they are not in a long run, or not most of the times. Also, the great thing with these EAs is that, like, in the next video, like, I will do multiple videos on this grid approach, since this is just like the basic stuff, and you can add a lot more functions to this to make it even more enhanced EA. But a good thing is that once you have like the template for these grid EAs, the only thing you have to do is to generate a new signal. So you can like make a lot of EAs, and each of them uses a different signal approach, and the rest is the same, and then you have different results. So that's also why these systems were very popular. I think it's pretty clear why you shouldn't be using this EA on your own account, and that is, if you like, let's run this since 2012, and the reason is that there will be a time when it doesn't work well and you will lose all of your capital, like here. Okay, so that's the reason. Because if I zoom out and I go to the, you can see here that you are like holding this cycle, and then you are hoping for the price to revert, and if it does not, like all in here it does revert, it also does revert here. This is absolutely crazy, as you can see for yourself, because this is also just math, as you can see. So you are like holding all of these positions, and you are waiting like for a month or so just for them to revert. And also, what many people do not understand is the psychological aspect of these EAs. So let's say that you have like 10,000 in your trading account, and you are dependent on these 10,000, and all goes well. So here you are cashing in, it looks perfect, like this is nothing to be afraid of, it looks perfect. So cashing in, and then something like this happens, and for a month or so you are just hoping for this to revert, and finally it does. So you are cashing in, everything looks perfect, but then I will just go, just 1 second, I will find the instance. Oh, this is also crazy. I will just find the instance where we lost all our capital. This is the same thing. Like, if you see this is not something you want to be in, because this is just crazy. Yeah, maybe I won't be looking at it because it's like, this is also just crazy stuff. And yeah, here we are. So this is the cycle where we lose all of our capital. So we start with this initial buy, we add 1 buy, second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, seventh, so 8th, 9th, 10th, and you continue, you open all of these positions and all of the positions, and you lose all your capital right here. So that's what happens. Okay, so let's test this on a different market, and let's see if the same thing happens. So now it's Euro USD, and okay, so here it was really close, and yeah, the same thing happened right here. We lost all of our capital. Let's try one more. So USD yen. Let's see if the same thing happens, and it happens as well. So with these type of systems you can be really profitable for a long time, but not forever. Of course, there are grid EAs that work really well, and they are really safe. And I have one of those, so I can I can show you. So I have one grid EA that I'm using, and it's called the Neural Trader AI, because it uses machine learning. And the thing about this EA, that it's super safe. I know that you hear this about all of the EAs, but I will show and prove it to you that this EA is really safe, and that's why I'm using this EA. So I won't bother you with all of these settings. The only setting you need to be aware of is this risk setting, where you can set your risk. I always use low risk since I am not crazy. And if I press start, you can see that it's possible to have safe grid EAs. So now it's loading. So let's wait for a bit. And now it runs. So yeah, so this is like the instance of very safe grid system that I've been using. So it's possible to create good grid EAs, but it's not something that you can find easily on the market. I would also like to talk about one instance in which I would maybe recommend using grid EAs, and that is with the funded accounts. So if you are doing funding challenges and you are succeeding in them, I think using grid EAs once you are funded can be a great way of how you can trade with these accounts. And that's because one simple reason. If you have a good grid EA, the number of times it will go into a huge drawdown, it's very low. So for example, if you check this, Okay, so if we check this, if you check this, the number of times there were some issues or some major issues was like first time, second time, third time, fourth, fifth, sixth. So 6 times over like 11 years there was a huge throwdown that would wipe out, or that would cause losing your funded account. But it's like once every half a year or so, or maybe once a year. So the aspect of having a steady income from your funded account for over a year and then losing it is not that bad, because like the downfall of this with your own account is that you will lose all of your capital. And if this is not the case with funded accounts, then I think this is something that you could use on your funded accounts. Yeah, but that's just my opinion. You have to test it and try it by yourself. Okay, so this is all for this video. I will be creating next videos on this topic, where I will upgrade this EA by adding different functionalities and settings and such. And I will also be creating a template for you that you can just paste and copy into your MT5 editor and have your profitable EA in just a second. Okay, so thank you for watching and see you in the next video.